Today, we talk about...
Welcome back. Forgot again what episode we're on, but it's
69.
In the title. We got another special guest. Introduce yourself, my man.
Camden Pollio, New York City comedian, straight out of Long Island.
Hey.
Grew up in the Hamptons. We out here.
Hey. And so I met you, in this open mic circuit and whatnot. But why don't you tell us, when you got started? When did you start doing the whole comedy thing?
Okay, so I wanted to be an actor, and not like a good actor. I just wanted to be a movie star.
Okay.
I was just, real life was so whack to me. And I was, in my mind, I was serious about acting, but I didn't really pursue it really hard. I moved to LA to do acting, but I moved back in 3 months. Wow. All right. And basically what I was a waiter who was living paycheck to paycheck and kind of submitting for auditions and stuff, but it going nowhere. And
when was this roughly?
And this is from age of 27 to age of 33.
Okay.
And no, probably from 22. Sorry, from 22 to 33. And then I was just getting nowhere. I would go on auditions and I would never hear back. It was just, it's like getting ghosted from a girl. You think you had a nice time, you're hey, that was fun, and you never hear back. That's what it feels like to go on audition as an actor. Gotcha. One time Samsung said they put me on hold, which means don't book anything else, because if something happens, we want to be able to have you. And that was I was I made it. I fucking made it. And then a month went by and I called my manager or whatever, I don't even know what he was, agent, and I said, hey, what's up with that hold? And they're they were only holding you for a couple days. It's not a thing. So I was this is heartbreaking. And then I'm a natural performer. I love to be the center of the attention. I love to make people laugh because I hate myself. And I feel that's a way to get people. If you laugh at something I said, then I feel okay, I can be in this room right now.
Right.
So as long as you laugh, I'm okay.
Yeah.
So it took me until I was 33 to say stand-up comedy.
Gotcha. And that was back here in New York?
This is in New York City.
So try and clarify the timeline for me here. But actually, Alexa, lights on. The sun's going to start to fade a little bit here.
That was the best flex of all. That's better than your whole sneaker collection.
Yeah, because I was filming a podcast a few weeks back, and then it was around this hour, and the sun started to fade over the course of the hour, so you just see it go dark, and it was still light in here, I could still see fine, but when I went to look at the footage, I'm dude, it looks like just two creeps talking to each other in the dark. But anyway,
that was so cool.
Alexa, lights white. Sometimes it doesn't. Is that white? Yeah, I think so. Okay. So yeah, give me the timeline. So did you go to college first?
Okay. I went to Boston College.
Okay.
It's a longer story than that, but I don't know how much you want to get. I started at Davidson College in North Carolina, where Steph Curry went.
Oh, okay.
And I flunked out of there. I pledged a fraternity. I thought I was done learning. I was just from all those movies Animal House and every TV show you see, college is where you party.
Right.
And I just stopped studying. I was I got into college. That was I didn't think of it as the start of something.
Right,
I looked at it as the finish line of college. So
Gotcha.
I partied, I flunked out, I went to community college in Long Island, and then I went to Boston College.
Gotcha.
And
were you still thinking about the whole actor thing back then?
Yeah, I always wanted to be an actor. When I finished high school, I wanted to just move out to LA and go that route. And my mom was just go to college. You'll never. She was you'll thank me later. It's always good to have your degree. You could do whatever you want after that. And it was the worst decision of my life. It really was. It was honestly the worst. Thanks a lot, Mom. I love you, but that was a dumb idea. So it took me 6 years to graduate college. I was in a sketch and improv group at Boston College.
Okay.
But I was the weird older kid because I transferred.
Right.
And they were all freshmen, sophomores, and I was a super senior. And they were I wrote a skit, and they were all yeah, we're not doing that. So at the time I was rapping. I was into hip hop. I was a white rapper, and it's different than regular rapping. 'Cause when you white rap, your only job is to not say the N-word and don't say some gay shit. Those are the two. Figure I should slide a bit in there for you.
Major principles. We got it. Okay.
So instead of they didn't put me in any skits, and they didn't let me write any skits, but they did let me rap to open up the show.
Nice.
So my comedy career started as a white rapper that introduced a really bad comedy group called Asinine.
Hey.
Ass in Nine, which was like the logo was like a donkey's ass in the hole of a nine.
Makes sense.
And so acting was just, I was always just like, I'm going to move to New York City. I worked in television production. I worked on the Tyra Banks show. I worked in a bunch of reality shows. Okay. And I was always like, oh, this will get me into acting.
Gotcha.
And it got me into getting people coffee and donuts. It doesn't lead anywhere.
Right. And then when did the move to LA happen?
That happened when I was like 30, 31.
Oh, okay.
I was just like, you know what? The time is now. I have no commitments. I have no connections. Fucking let's do or die, man. Let's go. Like, this is the thing I always wanted to do.
Out there,
let's get it. Yeah, my aunt lived out there, gotcha. So I moved to West Hollywood, and like it took me like fucking 2 months to get just to get a waiter job, just to get like the side hustle going.
Right.
So if you're thinking about moving to LA, line up a job first, because I'm not the only one that happened to. A good friend of mine spent like 8 months looking for work there too. And you know what I mean? And so
like that's pretty
it
common,
sours a lot, because a lot of people who are waiters out there, you don't just get a waiter job. Like in New York City, there's a million restaurants. In LA, it's different. Like waiters work for 20 years in the same restaurant, right. So like they're not fucking like that is they're career actors, but like they are not going to leave this Mexican joint for the life of them. They are old and gray, and they are not letting it go. So you can't. It's hard to get in there. It's hard to break into Hollywood, but it's hard to break into like the busted ass side hustle part of Hollywood also. Right. The economy is just not as good as it is here. So I got out there, couldn't get much work. I tried to do some auditions, and I decided to move back to New York for a failed relationship.
Gotcha.
I moved back, yeah.
So, and then this was at 30, 31. You're how old now?
I'm 38 now. 38 now. So I've just been sitting here being old the whole time.
So you moved back within 3 months, and then when did you?
So within that time, about a year after I moved back. Yeah, I think I'm 30. I think I was 33, 32 or 33, and I was watching Louis. I was watching like Louis specials, and there was some jokes that he said that I was like, oh my god, fuck! Like, I want to make people feel the way that makes me feel.
Okay.
I think it was one of the things where he does a joke about his mom buying them saltines as a kid, and he said his mom would buy the saltines without the salt on them. Are you familiar with this joke? And he says,
that's the joke. I don't remember the joke. But.
So he says his mom, they were the same price, but she would buy the unsalted ones. And Louis said to his mom, why don't you buy me the salt ones? These unsalted are terrible. And she says, because I know you'll go through the salted ones quickly. So these will last longer because you don't like them. And he was so mad at that. And he said he imagined in the saltine factory, there's like a sad guy there, and he scrapes the salt off of the saltine with a Discover card. And that part when he says Discover card, I was like, that. I love the way he came to that. And it just meant it felt like it was for me. Like that little part was for me, and I was like, I love that. I love that thing about comedy, that you can have never met somebody, and I've never been a 50-year-old masturbating bald redhead guy, but you know what I mean? Like I'm like, yup, that. And I love that connection. And I was like, I love comedy. I've always loved comedy. And I'm like, maybe I can write my own way into Hollywood, because if you become a big comedian, you get to make movies and you get to be in stuff. Like Bill Burr, he's got stuff going on for him too, but he got on to Breaking Bad by being a comic. Right. And like, if you look at dudes, the most funny movies are like written by or starring comics. Yep. I never realized this, but like I didn't know Bill Cosby was a comedian. I just knew the Cosby Show. Yep. Same
with me and Steve Martin. I'd seen him in all these movies.
Yeah.
And then I found out he's a stand-up.
Incredible.
I'm like, kind of good at it. I was like, wait.
Yeah. Beverly Hills Cop. I
Eddie
fucking
Murphy,
love that
yep,
movie.
same.
Norbit's underrated, but like, you know, then you go back and you watch this. This is the fucking one of the greatest comedians of all time.
Yep,
You're like, oh my god. So I'm getting chills thinking about it. Like even guys like Tim, like I used to watch Home Improvement. I didn't know Tim Allen was a comic. You know, these guys are household names. Ray Romano, everyone loves Raymond. You know, like Kevin James, Kevin Hart, and like you get them. You get hooked on this stuff when you're young and you're watching a lot of television, a lot of basic cable.
Yep.
And then you grow up and you're like, that guy's a comedian? And then you realize like Bob Saget is like the filthiest comic in the world. And you're like, he raised me. Danny Tanner is my surrogate father. And he gets to say shit cock in your mom's balls, mouth, fucking slut.
Do you ever see him on Entourage?
Yeah.
It's like kind of like that.
Yeah.
That was awesome to see.
I want go run back for a second. I want the LeBron entourages. The LeBron entourages
Oh,
with
yeah.
the eights. LeBron eights.
Or the Air Force Ones, you seen those?
Yeah, those are hot too. Right? Those are hot too.
Actually, let's transition into that. Actually, one thing I wanted to say about it is I kind of had the same thought because the more I get into this, and even as a pipe dream growing up, I was like, oh, I'm just a doctor. Like, nothing's going to happen for me. But
yeah,
I always had that.
Yeah, just a pathetic doctor. Like nothing respectable about that at all.
No, but I mean, I just always wanted to be in movies, and I always found it hilarious. Like, I would be watching funny movies, and then not only am I laughing, but then I'm finding like the blooper reel on YouTube, and I'm laughing even harder.
You're seeking it out.
And I'm seeing these guys just cracking up, doing take after take after take. I'm just like, this must be the greatest life of all time, just laughing all the time. And I'm sure there's more to it than that. But just like seeing that aspect, I mean, there's none of that in my world. You know, there's like little cracks of jokes happening at work, just like you'd see at any typical workplace, but it's not like that, you know?
Yeah.
So, and then I started doing this comedy thing, and then I started thinking, oh man, wouldn't that be cool if suddenly I got featured in a Hollywood film because of the comedy thing? Then I could meet all these other famous, funny people, and I could be surrounded by like the pinnacle of funny, just the current modern pinnacle of funny. How dope would that be? So like, and then even just like as a more big picture, like all these comics, I mean, you, other people, somebody's going to be making it, right? Somebody from this circuit is going to be in the next, Hangover or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
And how cool would it be if like a crew of us that knew each other happened to all end up in that place, like the Rat Pack or the Adam Sandler guys or the Judd Apatow crew or whatever.
If I can be in Hangover 38, I'll be pretty happy by the time they get to Hangover. It might be a straight to YouTube.
Yeah, but, whatever. To go back to the sneaker thing. So I mean, obviously you did the whole segment on the top 6 ugly 6. How long have you been into sneakers? Because you are relatively older than most people I meet that are like super into it.
I was born in 1981, and I first became aware of Air Jordans probably around 1990.
Okay.
And my first pair of Jordans were the Carmine 6s.
Oh, okay.
And that is a really dope sneaker to me. And I don't like when they retroed them, that they made them in nubuck, because I think mine were leather. I don't know. Like, because it's like, how like your memory can be a little foggy about stuff, but like
also at that size, maybe that size run wasn't made with the same material.
Yeah, I just remember they were like scratched up in a way that it was like totally a leather construction. Who knows? But I love Carmine 6s. A weird thing about me is that I love the shoe so much, and I know it looks whack on me. Because like something about my skin tone, like the clothes I wear, like that shoe looks like a clown shoe on my feet. I don't know, maybe you'll like superimpose a picture of the Carmine 6 so people know what we're talking about. It's a red and white clown sneaker that Michael Jordan used to dunk on people while wearing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was.
I mean, it's a great colorway. I do like it a lot. I'm more partial to the infrared 6 personally.
Yeah.
But
no, I have the infrared 6. I have the black. I had the white too. I sold them.
Okay.
Another big hit for sneaker culture for me growing up was I noticed that Jerry Seinfeld is wearing sport blue 6s in Seinfeld. Okay. And that was so cool to me. And also there's an old picture of Larry David on the set of Seinfeld wearing the maroon 6s.
I saw those. Yeah.
Oh my god, dude! Like I was like, oh shit! Like I could wear Air Jordans and write stand-up comedy and be on a TV show. Like, yeah, I want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like seeing that as like, well, like Jerry wears Air Jordans, so I can. Was
Will Smith and
the 5s, the grapes?
Well, not even just the 5s, but everything he was wearing, was that a factor at all? Were you watching that?
Yeah. Thank you for reminding me of that, because around 1990, I had a babysitter who we weren't allowed to watch The Fresh Prince. My mom wouldn't let us watch wrestling. She didn't want us watching Fresh Prince either. But it was weird because we all watched Cosby Show as a family. Because I think my mom grew up with Bill Cosby in her life. You know, he was like he's been doing movies and TV for so long before all that. So she knew about him, but she wouldn't let us watch The Fresh Prince. And I had a babysitter that would. She had her boyfriend come over one night, and they were like, "We're watching Fresh Prince," and I was like, "What the fuck is this? He's rapping too? I can rap?" I really took a lot of license. If I saw someone do something on TV, I was like, "I'm doing it too." And yeah, Fresh Prince was a huge. Oh my god, like his style, incredible. Like I love wearing basketball shoes with jeans, with shorts. Like I look like his style in that show is so fire. I love it, and it's so insane too. Like no one dresses like that, but like now people do. Yeah,
I think we're getting back to that. I'm feeling a lot of '90s vibes returning hard.
Lately, you know? I wonder if we're going overboard, and like I feel like kind of like there's so much over. Like I love going to vintage stores and buying like Patagonia. I'm wearing Polo Sport shorts right now, like Patagonia fleeces. You know, like sometimes I think that the retro stuff gets really big when we don't know where to go from here. So I feel like we keep doubling down on the 90s because we're like, well, the 90s were dope. Yeah. They're always going to be dope in our minds. Yeah. So I just wonder when we're going to burn out on it.
Well, I think it's,
and move on.
Well, whatever's cool with the kids now, as soon as they're like of our age-ish, they're going to retro their kind of stuff. So I think it's just like a constant cycle. But I don't know what's next. Probably it'll just shift back to minimalism because we'll have the ebbs and flows of the shit. But
and isn't it crazy though that 12-year-old kids are wearing Air Jordan 6s and 5s in colorways that never existed. Right, so to them, the teal and pink colorways of these shoes are the fucking OGs.
Yep.
Isn't that wild?
It's wild.
You know what I mean?
And here's my issue with that, which I think Nike's, I've mentioned this before, but Nike's doing a much better job of this, but I don't understand why they wouldn't just like, okay, you want to put out new colorways, cool. But why is it they put out these freaky colorways that I know I'm not
the market
impressed with, but
you're not the guy.
Even the market though, like they still constantly go on sale sometimes.
Yeah,
and I'm just
they're flooding the market.
Yeah, and but then with the actual OG colorways, the ones that everyone wants, the kids, us, everybody, they'll limit those. I'm like, dude, just fucking put out the OG colorways in the mass production because those always sell. Surprise, you know.
So I used to feel exactly like you on this topic. I was like, dude, just make the shoes I want. I'll buy them every time. If they made an OG of every colorway 1 through 14 of the Air Jordan, every OG colorway I would probably want to get. So just make them. But I've come to the realization that Nike's a pretty big company and they probably know what they're doing. And by making it a little harder to get it, you're like, oh, I couldn't get the black 5s this time around. Next time, you know, like they always keep you wanting more. Right. You'll never be able to get every shoe.
I agree with that, but I think obviously there's a method to the madness, of course. But all I'm saying is like when they decide to like limit them just unnecessarily, because again, they still sell out. Like the Concord,
they would sell out if they made 500,000 or 5 million.
Yeah, exactly.
They would sell out.
So like the Jordan 3 black cements, I missed out on them, but luckily they made enough of them where the resale was like maybe $20, $50.
That's pretty. Fine. That was nice of them.
That's fine. Yeah.
Kind of them.
But then I'm saying on the flip side with these crazy teal like wild new colorways, why don't you limit those?
Yeah,
you know, because it's like
because
it's these ass colorways that are going to go to outlets if you general release them. So why don't you? Because there's like that subsect of hypebeasts who just buy it because it's limited.
Yes.
Or just because like everyone's talking about it because it's limited. Like, fine, you guys have that. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Wear the ugly ass colors because they don't even like wear them for that long. They take the picture with them, then they resell them.
I know.
Or they
hate those guys.
Yeah. Or they'll just like wear it for a little bit, then they realize they don't like it and they move on. Even if it's an OG colorway that was limited. So I'm just like, dude, you're not even really in it for the shoe.
Yeah.
Let alone the colorway. You're just in it for what it brings as far as like a limited product. So limit the products on the ass ridiculous looking stuff,
I think that they're doing it that way because so the limited OG shit sells out real quick, but then the mass produced wacky zany new colorway, the people the parents will buy them for their kids. Gotcha. You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh well, it's on sale. Instead of being $160, it's on sale for $89.99.
Right.
And so even selling them at $89.99, they still make a shit ton of money on it. It's like you think you're getting a deal, but Nike's still getting you for $90. Right.
Yeah, and you know sometimes I have to remind myself, like, I'm in this deep. Like, I'm like super nerded out about it. So I actually give a shit about OG colorways and this little detail and that. But then I forget, like, some people are just walking into the shoe store and just grabbing something. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I was hoping we'd get to talk about like the type of sneakerheads we are. I'm the type. There's this big thing in sneaker culture and streetwear culture of price point, and it really bothers me because I think a lot of people are trying to stunt on Instagram, or, you know, they want to wear like the Stone Island and the Supreme and the Kith and the John Elliott, whatever, like name a brand, but like I call it sweatpants for billionaires. You know what I'm saying? And like most people, what are they?
These are John Elliott.
Fuck yeah, dude. Respect.
It's the only joggers I wear, like John Elliott.
Honestly, dude, I think everyone out there is looking like Ali G. Like, it's getting out of fucking control. And he was a parody, you know? He was making fun of something. So like we're all out here being like, yo, Ali G is a style icon. It's like, no, that's a character. And, you know, like I'm getting ahead of myself. I like to go into Kith. I like to look at sneakers. I like to put them in my hands. I like to touch them. I like to feel them. I've been going to Kith once a week for fucking 7 years. I have one pair of sneakers I got from Kith, and my girlfriend got me them. It's a pair of New Balances. They're low key. They're cool, whatever. But I don't feel comfortable buying from Kith because is Kith a sponsor?
Yeah, I'm nowhere on Kith's radar.
Dude, it's just so elitist. There's nothing against the employees. The employees are actually pretty nice people, but there's a little bit of an air of like, oh, you don't even know what this is. You know, like, you can't even have this. Oh, you see that hoodie? Yeah, it's a nice hoodie. It's $695. That's like, fuck you.
So why'd you keep going back?
Because I told you I've got so much hate. I got so much hate. So oh my God, I do. I really do, man.
It's like the people that bitch about Supreme all the time, but they just find themselves in that line. Every week I'm just like, what are you doing to yourself?
Yeah, I just think that. So what do I do with this hate? I like to go to the Nike outlet. I came in here in a pair of what are they, Zoom Flies?
Yep.
I keep forgetting the name of it. I have a pair of Zoom Flies I got for $50, and they're comfortable and they're 50 and they're pretty cool, and I'm happy with it. I'm just happy with it. As I get older, I'm realizing I need sneakers that are comfortable. It's a sad day, bro. It's a sad day. Like, I'm looking into Mephistos, those Air Monarchs that I shitted on. I'm like, hey man, those are pretty comfortable. Like, I got a pair of New Balances I got at Century 21, which is another plug, a great place to look for stuff. They got stuff all the time. I got a pair of New Balances there for work, and I was like, I'm only going to wear these to work in.
Century 21 or Forever 21? Isn't Century 21 the real estate company?
There is one called Century 21 Real Estate, but it's also a mall. It's like a shopping mall.
Okay,
it's like a multi-tier. It's like Macy's, but they have like it's actually more like Marshalls because they sell stuff that already had a retail and now it's for less. So I got my AirTech Challenge 2s there.
Gotcha.
For like $50.
Nice.
So you know what I mean? Like in my mind, when I see a dope shoe, I'm like, I think of a price in my mind that I would pay for it. And if the price is over that, I'm like, nah, I won't do it. But it just bothers me when shoes are like, they're unattainable. Ideally, I would want to get every single shoe, like every shoe that I picked out on your wall. I want all those, but I'm not going to spend the $12,000 it would take me to get them.
Yeah, I had a mental block at first where I'm like, I'm not paying over retail for blah blah.
Yeah,
blah, blah. But then I quickly realized, like, well, I guess you're not going to have any shoes then. You're just not going to get them.
Yeah,
so
I break my own
raffle. I've never.
Yeah, it's hard, man. Yeah. I mean, a lot. There's so much that goes into this culture. Listen, these companies are not making enough sneakers. For their niche, they're like collabs, they're designed like so. Like within the sneaker community, we think we're everything, but in terms of the bigger buying of sneakers community at large, like you said, the Air Monarch is like the best seller, which is crazy to me. But that means that like Middle America is buying the shoe.
Yep.
In the world of us that are buying the Mars yards, like the sneaker cult community, we all want it, but like we're a small subsect. You know what I'm saying, right?
Super small. Yeah.
So. Listen.
Let alone the ones of us that know about it but are actually trying to wear it, because then there's like the flood of just resellers who are like, holy shit, I can just flip this real quick for cash. It's just looked at as like a dollar sign.
Yeah, the sneaker culture got to a point where people that want to make a buck realized there was a market
Yeah.
because I'm insane, and I actually, if there's a shoe I love, I will pay for it. Like I broke my own rule. I bought Prestos for $700 on eBay, and I just found out today they were fake. Thanks to you. If you wanted to do the right thing, man, you'd sell me your OG Prestos just to make me whole. Make me whole, bro.
I would, except they're going for like $2,000.
No, I know, they're incredible. But yours are beaters. I'll give you $500. So, yeah, it's just, I wish we could, I came up with a concept a couple years ago. It was that when a shoe comes out, if you are willing to wear them out of the store, you can you can get them. Like, you know what I mean? Anyone that wants to buy them in your size, put them on your feet, and walk out of the store, increase them and devalue them right there on the spot, you can have whatever shoe it is. And I think that's a fair thing, because then you're making sure the people that want the shoes have the shoes, and not the people that are going to make $1,000 on it.
The only drawback to that program, because I was on the same page with you when I first started finding out that was a thing, but then the drawback is, like, I know when I get a nice pair of shoes, sometimes I just want to, like, play with them and hold them next to me on the sofa, and I don't want to have them touch the ground until I'm ready to wear them, maybe for a special occasion. Maybe.
Listen, you walk around the corner and then you put them back in the box. But, like, the idea being that, like, they're gonna have touched the earth, you know, because then you can't say they're dead stock, you know. And I get it, you're a special case. But for me, like, dude, I'll duck walk out of the store, you know, just to keep them.
I mean, if that was the only way I could get it for retail, I would walk out of the store. But I'm saying for the general thing of it, where I know the feeling of, like, getting it. But I mean, part of that for me is probably because I paid so much fucking money for it that now I feel obligated to not wear it right away. It's one of those things.
But that's what I mean about the
retail.
retail. Like, if the Prestos came out, let's say they re-released Virgil's to the 10. But you had to go to the Nike store. You had to go to 21 Mercer. You had to go to the other, and you could go to Foot Locker and get it. Fuck it. But, like, the only way to get the shoe would be that you had to wear it out of the store.
Yeah, I would definitely do that,
dude.
100%.
And how much goodwill would Nike get? I mean, it would probably cause riots. There would totally be riots.
Well, I think the way to do it right would be to do online raffles. But if you win the raffle, you pick the store. Okay. You go there, and then you have to wear it out.
Yeah.
I could see that being a thing.
Yeah, man. I just once sneaker purchasing stopped, because I camped out for the infrared 6s. It was like 5 years ago or something. 5 years ago, I camped out for them, and it was the last time that was even an option, because shoes, they stopped doing that for sneakers.
Right.
It was like, you can't come to the store and buy the shoe anymore. And once everything became digital, and there was an app, and there was like a window, and there was like the sneaker, what was that, the sneaker pass thing, like all these little things, and there was like the Yeezy, there was like, I don't understand how to buy sneakers anymore. And maybe it's the world telling me, you're 38, dude, you don't need the newest hype shit anymore. I don't know, man. You ever feel like there'll come a day when you're done?
I feel like there probably will be. I mean, I could see it, but but then again, I'm seeing these older heads that are still doing it.
Yeah.
You know? But I guess they're doing it different. Like, they start only buying for comfort, or, you know, they realize, you know what, I'm an Air Force guy. I'm only buying Air Force, or something, you know. But for me, being such a nerd of sneakers in general, like, for me, I feel like the collection's going to keep going anytime something innovative comes out. So I feel like I've almost caught up with, like, old stuff that are iconic. One of every 1 through 14 Jordan, you know, the classic Air Max type models and whatever. But moving forward, the only things I'm going to buy that are new are going to be things like, you know, the Adapt BB's first laceless basketball sneaker. Then something else is going to come out, the first completely see-through sneaker, or you know, anytime something new, first of its kind of shoe comes out, then I'll catch up. But I feel like luckily we're not seeing too much of that too often.
What about a signature athlete like Giannis is about to drop a new shoe?
Luckily I'm not a huge Giannis, Paul George, or Kyrie fan, right? So luckily I could skip all those. But big Kobe fan, LeBron. Yeah. So LeBron, I've got a few more signature shoes coming before he retires, so I'm gonna have to get those. But I'm done with the Kobe's. And then
what was it? Was it the Prelude pack? No. What was it? What was the one when he was retiring and they came out with one?
Oh, Fade to Black.
There was one. I think it was like the Kobe 6 with like the shark swimming on it. 6 or 7. There was a few different colors that were just like, dude, man, Kobe.
Well, the 7s, they did a bunch of different, like, beasts and animals, like a shark, a bear, I want to say.
There's one of those, dude. That's just like a really cool, like a just like a mural with like a shark swimming on it, and there's like purples and blues on it.
I think that was the 7, unless it was the Prelude.
And was that in the Prelude or no?
It might have been. I didn't get that one. The only thing I got from the Prelude pack was the Kobe 2 because it looked like a beautiful marble stone.
I saw.
Yeah.
Now the Protros are coming out now. Kobe's releasing some Protros.
Don't care.
Yeah, I like the ones, the undefeated ones.
And not the undefeated
ones,
but
cool.
The 81 points I got because I got the impression that he's not going to ever retro the original
Those
retro.
are the ones that says 8-1 on the back? Like the shot clock on the back? And is that the one?
No, I don't think it did. Maybe the original release back when they originally came out, maybe those did, but I don't think these are. These are just original construction to that, except they're just a Protro update. But external look of it is exactly
the white and purple?
Yeah, the white shoes he was wearing for the 81-point game.
Okay.
So that's the only, and I wasn't able to, they didn't release a pair outside of, I think they released like 81 pairs of his size 14 or whatever around that event at that time.
Yeah.
But as far as like a general release in my size that I could wear, that only came out now, but in a Pro Tour form. So I got the impression like it's never going to come back again, even years down the line in a regular form like a true to retro form. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just get this Pro Tour, but I haven't messed with any of the Pro Tours. The undefeated one looks nice, but
sometimes I get really deep into looking for dunks. I buy dunks here and there on eBay.
Okay.
And every once in a while, like I look at 50 pages of dunks on eBay, and like this is in the middle of the night, like my hands get sore. Sometimes I get tired and I drop the phone on my face. My eyes just go.
I've been there.
They get bug-eyed and stuff, and my girlfriend wakes up and she's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" It's 7 a.m. And
dude, it's easy to do that with dunks because they made so many great individualized colorways, and cool little stories that really can hit you, just like the Discover card.
Yeah.
Just like, wow, this dunk really speaks
That's
to me.
That's a good point. I gotta
have that.
Like these UNLV dunk highs, I love those. Those are really cool. They're actually a little more expensive than the other ones, but it feels fun to like just drop like $70 on a pair of like dunks. They're not special in any way, but like they're comfortable. They're $80. It's a throwaway purchase. It's, you know what I mean? It's like, dude, man, I'm gonna go dead broke fucking collecting $80 sneakers. I just know it.
What do you actually? Yeah, I didn't even ask you. Are you still waitering? Like, are you doing other things?
Yeah, so I'm a server. I work at Veselka, which is a 24-hour diner in the East Village. Nice. It's famous. It's been around for 65 years, and I've got it down. I'm only working on 2 nights a week. Which is pretty cool because this is for the first time in my life. Like when I got to the city and I started working here and there, working at waiting tables or working in TV production, trying to be an actor, I never had enough time to actually be an actor, and I was living week to week. Now I've got it down to I'm making my weekly money in 2 days, and I'm doing stand-up like way more often, and I'm really excited. It's funny that it took till I'm 38 to get there, but I decided to stop playing defense against my own greatness.
Nice.
Does that make sense?
I like it, yeah. No, I get that sense, especially from my parents' generation where like, and it was a different world, obviously, so you get this notation of just like, don't lose. It's never go get it, go win. I mean, it's kind of like that, but it's very safe positions. Like, go be a doctor, go be a lawyer, go be an engineer, go do something safe.
Oh, yeah.
It's never like, hey, you're kind of good at this thing. Maybe you should look into it. Maybe take that risk.
Don't shoot for the stars.
Go take that risk and move to LA, or do this. Like my parents don't like that I'm doing stand up now, and I'm like still a doctor.
That's hilarious, man. They want you to put all your eggs in someone else's ass. I'm sorry.
That's good. I might steal that from my ex.
Please do, man. Please do. Man, like my dad and I don't have a great relationship, and he thinks I'm like lazy and I'm not applying myself. And this is actually the best I've ever been applying myself. Like I'm really trying to be a great stand-up, and he looks at it like, well, you're only working 2 days a week, and I'm like, no, I'm working fucking 7 days a week at comedy, and I make the battery that fuels this operation is the working 2 days a week over there. I don't want to work that much. I don't want to work fucking 50 hours a week for someone else. Work sucks. Everyone knows that work sucks. If you could stop doing your doctoring and just do comedy, you would do it, right?
No, because
That actually fulfills you.
I feel like, well, A, it fulfills, B, it pays way better than comedy
Right.
will anytime soon.
Okay.
If ever, to be honest with you. The more I learn about comics, like the big deal comics, these A-list comics, and I'm hearing you make how much? What?
It's insane, man. What are we doing?
But, and I made this realization at a show I went to, and I was like, why are there all these free shows that you can go to and see great comics? And I realized, oh, right, the currency is fucking laughter. They just want to see you laugh. So they even make the show free and give up their time free just so you can laugh. For them. Now, but the main reason I would never leave the doctor thing, even if I were to become like a crazy famous movie star and all that kind of shit, which obviously that's a 1 in a billion chance as it is, but pretend it were to happen. I feel like the nice thing, and even now especially, the nice thing with being a doctor is it keeps me grounded and it gives me a perspective that otherwise I would lose if I was just doing nothing but comedy all day, every day. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Because A, it provides material, clearly, and let alone unique material that no one else is going to be able to steal.
Fecal material.
Hey. And
you don't want to be a shitty comic.
Hey.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I do all these myself. So, I'm constantly trying to fill that quota of one butt pun per set.
Good.
But no, it's kind of nice too because like I feel like, and I didn't appreciate this until like a little bit after with the YouTube stuff and more experiencing more of the creative works. But you realize like for a lot of creative types how fragile their egos are. Like one negative comment and they're just like break down or whatever. And then you realize like holy shit, man. Like a lot of this creative stuff and kind of like what your dad's alluding to, like you're only working 2 days a week because no one really views the comedy or the singing or the acting as like a real thing or a respect thing. Yeah. And even you start to get in your own head, you're like, dude, is this even really important? Am I just wasting my time? Like, so
this gives you like legitimacy.
Exactly.
As a doctor, you're a fucking doctor.
Right. So like you can never challenge me. Like you can never call me shit.
Yeah.
Or say something mean to me. And have me be like, oh man, do I really suck? Am I really a worthless waste of something that's not even talented? Mm-hmm. It's like, you know what? Maybe I'll never end up being like a great comic, but I'm a great doctor, man. Like, and I'm doing something real. Like you can never debate that for me. You know, I'm actually saving lives, literally. So
if you think I'm a bad comic, I will literally get in that ass.
Dad ass. It's I think for that perspective, and I want to keep that groundedness to it. I don't know that I'll ever really leave doctoring, but you're right, man. At the end of the day, it is a job. So like you'll have those days where it's like, fuck, man, I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to go to work. I don't want to. But luckily, it's not a horrendous job where like I want to kill myself. You know?
Comedy seems like a drug habit that we have, and we have to figure out a way to supplement that. You know what I mean? Like how a heroin addict has to go hustle to make enough to buy his drugs every night. Like we do it at a loss. Like we spend so much money on mics, on hanging out at shows.
Money. How about the time, dude? Like
that's what I'm saying. It's
8-9 hours of open mic just to do 15 minutes total. Like
time is money, bro. I know. Like I barked for 2 hours for a show the other night. I sold some tickets to the show, so that was cool. And then I got to do 9 minutes of material. And that was that's a pretty great ratio, actually, considering a lot of times you'll put in even more time and get even less stage time.
Right.
But, sometimes significant others don't even understand it. It's like, I might not be performing tonight, but I have to be in the arena for when they call my name. Right. So that those by being there, they see me, and I might get booked on someone else's show. Someone might have canceled last minute. Just being around it all, you have to be like, so, like in Minority Report, like the precogs that are like laying in the fucking juice, whatever it is. Like we have to be in the comedy juice at all times. So that we become fucking like psychic comedians. Does that make sense?
Not even psychic comedians, but I know exactly what you're saying because, first of all, I feel funnier now than ever just because I've surrounded myself with comedy. Yeah. So even just the learning environment, let alone like hopefully getting my break or getting booked on shows or whatever, just even being around the comedy, I feel like helps me, period.
Cool.
And even, I was at a show last night and I just came up with 2 new jokes. I was like, oh, this inspired me to remember this whole thing from my childhood. And I'm
dope.
So that kind of happens. And then But you're totally right, man. You got to be in the arena. People got to know who you
Yeah.
are. Like, you can't. I love when comics get bitter, like, oh, why is so and so getting booked and I'm not? It's like, dude.
Yeah, dude, that's the game, man.
Yeah,
That's the fucking game.
And it sucks to some extent. Yeah, you would wish it was a pure meritocracy, but nothing really is if you break it down. You know?
No, it isn't. It isn't.
Unless the meritocracy is, can you play this Monopoly game of comedy?
Well, yeah, I mean, like a lot of I get jealous of when a cute girl comedian posts a Facebook status like I just farted and it smells like bad onions and it gets like 200 likes. And I'm like, well, I actually just farted and it smells like bad onions and I can't get 7 likes. And I get jealous of people's likes and it makes me hate myself that I even care.
Right.
But it's real, man.
Yeah.
There's so much jealousy. And one of the things I've heard is that nobody is ever taking anything from you.
Yeah.
There's literally, I don't know if it's true, but we can actually all make it.
Yep. I think it's true, personally.
Yeah, I
in
think
this era, I mean.
Because let's say everyone that goes to Otto's Shrunken Head, let's say we all work really hard and we find our lane. Every single guy and girl can make it.
Yep.
Because they're not saying, all right, one guy from this Otto's Shrunken Head, one guy from this mic is going to make it. That's not how it works.
Yep.
And when Osama Siddiqui gets a TV show, that doesn't mean that Sadra doesn't get a show. You know?
Right.
Like, that's not how it works.
And it's not even that, but like, there may be a finite number of Hollywood TV shows being offered or TV deals or whatever. But with this beautiful thing of YouTube, it's it's literally limitless. Like anyone can start a channel, anyone can start a following, and we all have different styles of humor. And like the Discovery card hit you really hard, but maybe one of my butt jokes hit someone else really hard. And, and now we both have one passionate fan, right? So I think, I totally agree. In this era, where you just got to make your own way, that's why it shocks me that more comics don't push their social media that hard.
Yeah, I mean, you've hit onto something there. Like, I think it's working for you. I'm realizing I might have a likability factor. Like I said, I do hate myself. So it's hard to like promote yourself when you think you're garbage. But I also
went through that phase, by the way, where I was like, I don't have anything I think is worth posting. But once I got over that, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to put myself out there.
Dude, I was reading one of your captions. I don't know if we have time to go into it and read it, but it was. I was like, this. I wanted to comment like, this is the most insane thing I've ever read, and it was so great because like you have all these like little inside jokes, and it's like I know that I could tell that people that are like actually following you like get all these references, and I was like, oh my god.
Sometimes I'm the only one that gets the reference, but I'm just like, fuck it. This is what I'm thinking right now.
It was really infectious. I was like, you're out of your mind in a great way. Like, what's the point of being a herb that's like, oh, I don't want to say that because it might offend someone. You're just fucking out there. Yeah. And it's really cool to see. And, like, people are going to latch on to that.
Exactly. You find your crowd. And that's what I'm saying. Like, Osama's doing his thing, you're doing your thing, and I'm doing my thing.
Exactly.
And the best part about it is if it all goes nowhere, at least I was comfortable not, like, editing myself or you know.
Dude, you're already a star. You know? Like, you have the fucking sneaker closet of a MTV Cribs NBA All-Star. You know, like, you have a podcast, you're getting paid, you have the hair, you got the Groucho goggles on. Like,
mustache holds up.
One thing I realized only very recently is that I'm not going to need to wait around for someone to tell me I'm a comedian.
Yes, exactly.
Comedian is something you get out and you do every day.
Yep, exactly.
And, like, I'm going around to mics to get on, and guys that are at the Comedy Cellar are also going around just trying to get a set together.
Yep.
We're all trying to put a nice set together to get on Colbert or whatever,
Which I don't think is the move. I think the move is to post your own stand-up. I post every set to YouTube.
Oh, wow.
And some of them, the early ones, have literally thousands of views.
Holy shit.
The more recent ones, consistently a couple hundred, if not 300.
That's cool, man.
So I'm building my own network, essentially. And I did it from scratch. I had no help. I had no cosigns. I had no sponsors, no nothing. And I think I'm in a unique position to do that because I have a job where, you know, it supports me very well. So I can have the free time even, aside from being, like, not in financial, chaos, where I can like pursue that and like really dedicate time to do it. But at the end of the day, it's hard work. Like I had to put in that effort instead of putting in the effort to like put in the 5 minutes and then hope that someone books me or hope that blah 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 blah. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put myself on.
That's cool, man. That's pretty cool.
I've just been working on it. So yeah, you're like, oh, you have a podcast? Like, yeah, because I decided I want to have a podcast.
Yeah, word.
So no one told me like, oh, I think you can have a podcast.
Yeah, my good man. I declare thee worthy of a podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually wanted to do a podcast, but I was like, who needs another podcast?
That's what's holding you back.
Of course, no one needs it.
Right.
But if you make it and people fucking think it's dope, then they'll be very happy that you did make it.
Right.
And man,
and maybe in this area you're not going to make a podcast that's going to get a Joe Rogan millions of consistent followership. But you just want those handful of people that will latch onto you like that Discover card on the Soul Team. Like that's really who you're after. Is like who can I connect with? And maybe it's 5 people, maybe it's 5,000, maybe it's 50,000.
I think a lot of comics also come up with material on their podcast.
Dude, I've come up with so many jokes.
It seems to be.
We came up with a good one here. Put all your eggs in your ass.
I'll get in that ass too. I'll get.
Actually,
we were talking about the idea of what you're worth and everything. Like I hosted my show at No Fun Bar last night, and up top, I fucking ate it. I ate it so hard.
Well, hosting is tough. I hate it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm wrangling in a bunch of people. I'm barking at them from the street. I'm getting them into the show, and then I'm starting a show, and it kind of feels like you're trying to like jumpstart a Volkswagen and like push it down the hill a little and be like, all right, we got a show. So like I have to eat a lot of shit in order to get that motor to turn over, and so like I got no jokes up top. I had no laughs, I should say. And it just got me to a point where I was like, fuck, I'm the worst comedian. And like very easily, I could have also hopped across town and did a quick spot on someone else's show where I don't have all that pressure to start the show. Right. And I could have had a great fucking 8-minute set that would have changed. You know what I mean? Like there's really... you go through all the emotions. Yep. And I think like there is no making it, there's just hanging in there. And there's just more spots to book.
Yep.
And sometimes those are on national television and sometimes they're on Netflix and sometimes you make them your own self.
Yeah, like, if you have a good set and you promote it right, there could be a day where it'll go viral and you'll have literally hundreds of thousands of views on it.
That's so funny.
On YouTube. And you don't need a cosign by Colbert. You don't need a TV network to sign up.
No, you're right.
Just fucking do it, man.
There's no...
there's no excuses left these days.
That's interesting. That is pretty wild. I kind of spaced out for a second. I guess I got caught up in the idea of taping and broadcasting every set. Because,
a lot of people don't recommend you do that. I say fuck it to those people because I like you saw from that caption. I'm a little wacky.
It's a timeline. You get to see your growth.
That was my initial intention.
That's an interesting idea. But then by the time you come out with a special. People have saw the 5 years of fucking...
Well, here's the thing. So here, I thought about that too, and I think here's my solution to that. So I would still record every set because, like you said, that's exactly what I was going for, which is...
the growth.
And I've already seen, I'll see other comics randomly comment like, holy shit, man. I took a couple years off from comedy. I didn't think I was that funny, but you're literally showing me. Like, it's one thing to read in a blog post. This is how you do it, and make sure you keep getting up there and keep trying. But
it's
for someone to see me literally eat shit on a joke one time and then 15 times later, now it's killing.
Yeah.
Which I rarely do, but whatever.
Hey, man.
That's inspiring to some people. A. Secondly, I think it'd be cool if things work out where, in my head, being a narcissistic, egotistical fuck, that someday I could be the next Chappelle. Wouldn't it be cool if, take Chappelle right now and be like, dude, Chappelle's hilarious. How cool is it if we could access his entire catalog of where he was, where jokes came from, especially if you're like a nerd for comedy.
Yeah, so watching Dave eat it as a 15-year-old.
Right. Because no one's going to show you that. No one's going to show you that.
Well, you know what? It's like you said. It's like people will be interested as long as you have it. If you have it, then you have it, and there's as long as you have enough cloud space to fucking post all these videos.
I mean, Google is continuing to expand, so whatever,
that's what's up, man.
But yeah, man, it's and you'll get your following, like I said. So if you find those people that are drawn to you, like that discovery card, then I'll have people commenting like the hardcore fans. They'll be like, I don't know why no one's laughing. I thought that was hilarious. Like you got to connect with certain people.
And the chances of your fans being in the room are small, but if you record it and you put it on YouTube, then people that actually, the right people will find it.
Will find it.
Yeah.
And I'm like I told you earlier, I have people that hit me up on Instagram like, hey man, I'd love to see you in in New York
That's
next time
pretty
you're
cool.
getting on stage, or in Iowa if you're on stage. Let me come see you. I'm
That's
like,
pretty
this is
dope.
So as more of that starts to happen, all of a sudden I could probably book my own club just because.
Yeah.
And I did it by myself through open mics.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
that is cool.
So,
that is exciting.
I mean, but I understand the hating yourself concept and not thinking it's worth it, and being scared of it and invulnerable and all that stuff. That definitely goes into it. I'm glad I was able to get over that mentally.
Yeah.
But again, a lot of that I think has to do with being a doctor and being like, what are you really going to say? Like that I'm not funny. Go back to your day job. Okay, I've got a
You
great
can't hurt
day
me,
job.
bro.
Yeah.
I got the Mars yard on. I got the overshoot, bro.
Yeah. And actually, I forgot to answer your question about. Or respond to your thing about, no, there's going to be no new material. I think once I get to the stage where I'm big enough where I'm actually doing specials, what I would do is I'll still record all the sets. I will still post them on YouTube under private. And then once I do the special and the special's out, then I'll go back and like unload the backlog of sets that it took to get there so that people can still access it in retrospect. Yeah, exactly.
What, do you know what you'd call your special? If let's say you had to make a special tomorrow. And you gotta name it and you gotta shoot it somewhere all right, what are you gonna call it?
Well, I can tell you right now, if I were to get a special, I would shoot it at the first ever comedy club I ever went to / the first ever comedy club I did an open mic at, which was in Iowa, Penguins Comedy Club.
Okay.
And that's the other thing that I don't understand, these comedy specials that are routinely filmed in theaters. Like I hate theater laughter. Like it seems so empty and blown out. Whereas a comedy club feels so much more real, and it's a fucking special, dude. Like you didn't.
I think we're at the level. No, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think we're at the comedy level where I agree with you. I think every time a special is shot at the Comedy Cellar, I'm attracted to that.
Yeah, it sounds better.
Or like the Original Room or the Belly Room or whatever in the Comedy Store. These are great places for comedy, and small intimate theaters too, maybe like Irving Plaza or something like that, Gramercy Theater. Those are cool places to do a show. But you're right, anything bigger than that, I think it's just comics flexing. Like when Kevin Hart sells out the Philadelphia, whatever the fuck.
No, and I'm not saying
he's doing football stadiums.
I'm not saying don't do arena tours if you can. I'm not saying don't sell out MSG 4 days. But when you film a special, clearly the reason for that special wasn't to make the ticket sales. It was to create a time capsule thing that you will broadcast to everyone that wasn't there.
Yeah.
And why would it matter if it's the Cellar versus the theater? And I would argue it's better at the Cellar because the sound will be better. There's more of a comedy feel there. Blah, blah,
that's a fact, man. I mean, you're right. Like when you watch Kevin Hart's special, you're not like, wow, I feel like I'm really at the fucking Megaplex theater. You know what I mean? Like I'm really at Soldier Field or where I don't even know where you filmed it.
Unless VR becomes
a thing.
Flex.
Maybe it's a
flex. Yeah, of course it's a flex. But I think I'm hoping that
Netflix.
But fuck, I was going to mention something else along those lines.
Well, what about this? Did you watch Drew Michael's special for HBO? There is no audience. It's just him.
Really?
There's no laughter. There's no audience. It was directed by Gerard Carmichael. And it's incredible.
Interesting.
It's really different. Like there's some little effects that go on with it. It's he plays because Drew Michael is like partially deaf, so he does some like audio fucking with it, so you feel what he's going through.
I was gonna say I could see why that became a theme. Sort of.
It's really cool, and then it ends with this big this FaceTime thing. It's like him and his girl talking, and it's. I guess it's really cool, and I hope that more of that happens in the future. Like maybe guys doing stuff with green screen, and I want Eric Andre to do a special, kind of different like that too, because I love his stuff.
Yeah, I do too. His show is great. Man, I'm glad you brought that up because I don't understand why more comics don't lean into prop use, if you will. Not like props like a Carrot Top, but more like use a PowerPoint thing.
Yes.
Show us some stuff or present us with different things that you want to talk about. I don't know.
I think if Aparna has a proper special coming out soon, she'll probably use PowerPoint because Aparna Nancharla is a really great comic. She hosted Whiplash for all these years. And she has this thing where, once a month, she would do a PowerPoint, and they're so funny.
Oh, okay.
And dude, PowerPoint is great. She does use PowerPoint. She has one of the stand-ups on Netflix. I think it's
Okay.
like season 2 of the stand-ups.
Gotcha.
Aparna's on there, and she does use PowerPoint. So
Yeah, I
that does
just think
exist.
like use every possible tool because at the end of the day, you're just trying to create laughter. What does it matter whether you do it? I understand the purity of being able to create it just with your voice and a microphone.
Yeah.
I get that, but I feel like if you can use additional tools, why not? You know?
Yeah, man. I mean, my brain thinks I like to make parody songs. Like I don't.
Yeah, I mean, people use guitars or pianos to like Zach Galifianakis, Adam Sandler. They're using those different tools to create comedy.
So like there's like I do it with 50 Cent a lot for some reason too. So there's one 50 Cent has a song with Game. This is how we do, where he goes, I put Lamborghini doors on the Escalade. So I like to go, I put diarrhea doors on my Escalade. And I don't know what diarrhea doors are, but I imagine like he opens up the Lamborghini door and like just diarrhea flows out of it. Those are his diarrhea doors.
Is this how you open up those asinine?
I step out of the Lambo and put a special on the diarrhea doors. No, I do it all the time, and I can't help myself because it's like, it's just my brain is always. I just have hip hop going through my head all the time. So when that clashes with my comedy brain, they like merge.
Nice.
I have another one where 50 has another song that's on his mixtape where he goes, G Unit, I started my own gang, and so. I can't believe I'm going to say this on your podcast. G Unit, I'm sucking my own dick. Isn't that great?
Dude, I do the same thing all the time. Like I'll just say the dumbest shit that doesn't even make sense in a hip hop song I'm like super into at that point. I'll be like, I'll just insert bitches and hoes into it, suck my own dick, fucking ass to the butt to the penis. I'll just insert random, just whatever word I know is inappropriate to say. I'll just insert it into the line. So I do that shit all the time.
That's
now that
dope,
I think about it, but I haven't thought about bringing it to stand up. Maybe.
Sometimes I'm like, fuck, I can't do that on stage.
Maybe that's what's holding you back, man. Oh, you've tried it. Okay.
Oh, I have another one. I don't know who sings this song, but it's like it was like an '80s banger. I'm back in the New York groove. You know that song?
Yeah.
So I'm back trying to fuck cats at the zoo.
Dude, I do the same shit all the time.
Because it's hard to fuck a cat. So like I'm back. I got.
Dude, I think this is your lane.
I took some time off. I figured out how to get them from stop scraping my dick off because they got claws. These cats.
Oh my god!
So now I'm back and I'm ready. I'm focused and I'm gonna try to.
Need to do. You
fuck
need
cats
to
at the zoo.
the diarrhea doors, the cats at the zoo. You just need to just cold open with these lines.
Yes.
And then do the explanation. I'm just picturing a Lamborghini door coming up. And
yes.
Or because I'm back. Like if you.
I took a little while in the emergency room. I got some skin grafts.
See, I'm telling you, if you tried that might be an angle you could, and that'd be niche. That'd be something no one else is doing. It'd be unique.
You know what? Come to No Fun Bar next week. I'm leading with fucking cats at the zoo. You should come do the show if you're available. I'll book you.
Sure, man.
Cool. We could even do an epilogue to the pod if you want. Like epilogue. You're at No Fun Bar doing your set.
Like do another
like a link,
segment?
like a link to it, or maybe at the whatever. I don't want to tell you how to run your show, but like.
Well, I'm gonna be out of town next week and the week after.
Come
so maybe when I'm back in
whenever
June.
you can make a Tuesday, come through.
Let's do it.
Backlog for a second. I want to talk about writing.
Sure.
Because.
And then we got to wrap this.
I love doing stand up. I was in a zone where I was hitting like 2-3 mics every day.
Okay.
And then I realized I might be practicing bad habits because I'm not writing enough. But I'm just like when you have a set and you're going to mics with that set, you're just kind of gouging that into your brain.
Right.
And it's important to get up a lot. It's important to put in your 10,000 hours of stage time, of course. But I think it's also important to put in just as much writing time because I just think that it's your brain trying another angle, trying another way up the mountain.
Right.
Like what if I try this? What if I try that?
Yep.
And rewriting. I've heard, I forget who wrote it, but it's a great quote. It's writing is rewriting. When you write something down, like it's not. That's just the fucking rough draft.
Yep.
And you have to, in order to get it to a perfect joke, to the Discover card moment, Louis had to rewrite that.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm not a genius, so it would probably take me 100 drafts to get to the Discover card.
But hey, as long as you love the process, right?
Yeah. Do you write a lot?
I hate writing.
It sucks.
Yeah.
It fucking sucks.
Yeah. But I just mean in general, writing, reading, just not my thing. Audio visual. This is
AVZ, baby.
Yeah. But I think
AV like this.
But
ass. Sorry.
There you go. Yeah, another ass pun. We got to incorporate that one too.
Just edit my whole face out of this.
Just put the asinine.
Comic X. Yeah.
But no, I like the concept of writing on the stage.
Okay.
Because I kind of agree with you where it almost becomes diminishing returns or counterproductive to do too many mics too often.
Yeah.
Because I felt myself burning out doing the 2 to 3 a day at one point a few months back. But I will say, I think, like you said, man, getting up on stage time is very important because the kinds of jokes I would sit down and write now, I would not have written them those same ways when I first started. Like the kinds of jokes I was writing then, because I didn't know what the stage was like. I didn't know cadence and like what to expect where. So now with all that experience in my head, now when I write a little bit differently. And even like jokes that I just came up with that I just wrote and I try it for the first time and it's killing. I'm like, holy shit, like this is like that would never happen early. So
we should let's sit down and write sometime, man. Like, let's just seriously, because I know you say you only write on stage, but like writing is a lot like going to the gym.
Yeah.
If you have somebody that will fucking sit down, like if we sit somewhere and just work on our stuff, bounce it off each other.
I'm super down for that. I think that's super productive. I just get the sense from most comics, like everyone's either running to an open mic or doing another thing, or they just don't have time to like sit and write.
Every single comedian in the world could use an hour and a half to sit down and just, bounce ideas off another comic, come up with stuff together, or just sit silently and be like, dude, we're both not gonna look at our phones for 25 minutes, and we're both gonna come up with fucking 3 one-liners, whatever it is. Like, just, I'm seeking that out. There's a few comics I look up to, or not look up to, that are like peers of mine that like, we're trying to make more time to write, because writing is hard, man. Every time I leave the house to go to a coffee shop to write, I still have my phone in my pocket, and that shit is like a secret agent, and it's always ready to just be like, aha, let's go on Deadspin. Let's.
I'm there, man. I'm there. So, but yeah, I'd be down. Maybe even just like right before a no fun bar show, we can hang out for like a half hour, hour beforehand. That'd be cool.
Yeah, man.
So let's do that. But why don't you plug where we can find you so we can wrap this up?
Let's do it. Okay, my name's Camden Pollio. That's my Facebook. There's only one of me. Killa Camden 33 on IG. That's Killa with no H. Killa KILLA CAMDEN 33 is my IG. I love IG. I love it.
Shit.
I need those likes. I'm so wrapped up in it. I have like 700 followers, and it's just, I treat it like it's 700,000. I really do.
You should.
Yeah.
Those are your people. Man. Speaking of which, I'm curious now. Because my phone's filming. Do you know which post of mine caught you off guard?
Let me grab
my other phone.
Okay, can you grab my phone too?
Yeah.
It was so comedy. I fucking love it.
Let's see.
I want to read this. I want to read it out loud. It was so funny. Where is it? Okay, yeah, this one. I love this, dude. Honestly, I'm so happy that I went from reading it to shaking your hand about it. All right, now, this is Killa Camden 33 as Dr. Souls 11.
Yeah.
Okay, so, sure, half the room was filled, which compared to 0.11% typical room fillment at your average open mic. This was incredible. Laughs felt hearty AF. Plus, got to rock a little Kanye and a little Virgil. And we get it. Half Nike, half Adidas. But that's basic bish-ish. Maybe look deeper. Kanye and Virgil are brothers. And they both getting bread from 2 corporate money chambers. They DGAF. They just creating. Let them do-ish. They could give 11 less fugs. Get it? Because I didn't swear? Am I right? So now I'm suddenly Disney Channel worthy? Because human beings confused as fuck? HBO triggered. Anyway, set it up on YouTube. We get it. Y'all thought I bombed the little ass set. I didn't get guffaws, but Jesus, we get it. iPhone doesn't carry the back of LaRoom's LOLs. Ultimately, though, it is what it is. Hashtag IIWII. Killing it. Dude, that was like a walk-off grand slam home run.
Wow, that's so hilarious hearing someone else read that.
I didn't even get to the hashtags.
The hashtags are bullshit.
Oh, okay, yeah, fuck them.
Dude, even, Matt Summerstein, right?
Yeah.
So actually, Matt commented on it. Whoops. He goes, typical room film. God, I love this whole caption.
Incredible, dude. Like,
caught me off guard because like someone like him, I don't expect him to be like reading my captions. Let alone you.
That's star quality right there, man.
Oh
It was just like. It was like a fucking. It's like Tom Green or something. Like a guy that's in his own fucking world, and you're allowed to go. You're allowed to peek inside of it. You're like, yo,
dude.
He's still talking.
Yes, dude, that's literally what I'm going for. Because like,
no disrespect, I know Tom Green doesn't have the all the comedy cred in the world, but just like the idea of you creating something, and you're like, dude, I'm a grown man, I'm a fucking surgeon, and I'm out here like showing my whole ass, just having fun, man. And that's, dude, honestly, man, you really are a comedian because that made me laugh,
dude. I'm glad. That's my Discover card moment. You know,
hell yeah, bro.
But yeah, man, it's and you know what's funny, that set. And from that photo, that was maybe to date my all-time greatest set.
Oh no
I
shit!
would say, because actually that was the same set where I wrote a joke that day, and I was like, I'm going to try this today, see how it goes, and it killed.
Okay.
So,
by the way, that never happens. That was very rare. Like you write something and you're like, oh, this is dope.
Right.
It usually doesn't, because you just haven't said it yet. So the first time you say it, it's
usually
you're fortunate.
Yeah, usually yes. But I think a lot of it too, and we didn't really delve into this too much, but it's totally real, man. Like if you have the right energy, and because you were like revving the engine to get the show in a certain place, but if the show is at a certain place, or you bring that certain energy up top, then all of a sudden those middle jokes that may have been like total duds at like a New York open mic, especially
I feel you.
Those will, for some reason, maybe even explode with laughter for whatever reason.
Yeah, because it's a lot of window dressing. It's like you put them in the right place of mind where they're like, now, like if who's the funniest comedian out right now? I don't even know. It was Louis, but Louis had a few missteps.
I would argue Andrew Schultz, personally. I think
Schultz is killing it.
Killing right now, man.
Schultz is killing it. Well, so let's say I honestly think a guy like Schultz could read the phone book and it would be funny because we know he's funny now. You know what I mean? Like your brain is like, okay, I'm ready to laugh. Yeah. And I was there with Louis, man. I was like, the dude could read the fucking phone book. Right. And it sucks. He's a hero. He fucked up big time. And, fuck him. Idiot what idiot.
Actually, I forgot to answer your initial question. That would be the name of the special for me.
Nice.
But the problem is, I haven't gotten the stage presence yet. I've grown, dude. In just 6 months I've been doing stand-up. Like, I can't believe the amount of growth I've had already.
Your hair, too.
Hey. But, I think what I want to do next is bring a lot more of that YouTube inside jokes and like what you just kind of read, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, like more of a character.
I want to bring that in a little bit and then incorporate the itty-witty mantra that I have into the stand-up. And once that's there, and once that becomes like a catchphrase that I can use on stage and not just on YouTube or on IG, that's when I think I'd be ready for a special that's called by that. But just call it that right now, I wouldn't be ready for that. Because you were like, if it came out today, what would you do? I want to call it that. I want to do it at Penguins, but I don't have the material yet to fulfill what my dream is of that special. So.
You ain't is what you will be is.
Yeah. All right, man. So thanks for coming. And,
dude. I can't wait to see your growth. Can't wait to see you at No Fun Bar. Plug. Hey. Thanks for having me at your place. Great place. Great pod. Had a blast.
Awesome. It's just awesome. I said awesome.
Awesome.
Hey, another one. Got him. Boom. All right. Bye.
Peace.